Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss doll variants and re-releases and reproductions, and this is just because I feel like I've not seen many videos really like in depth talking about all the differences between the categories I just listed there, like re-releases, reproductions and wonkiness. So yes, I thought it'd be fun to kind of delve into that, and I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. But I have just gathered this information over time from collecting for about like 3 years now. But it's just kind of just like finding all this out over time. But I thought I'd try to explain it the best I could and not get kind of like confubbled when I'm talking, which may happen because I might start talking about something and go on a side rant. So hopefully I don't, and I stick to one category, and that's why I divided this into categories when I was listing them there. So let's maybe start with the re-releases of the 2015, I guess, and compare to the 2010 release. And I'm because for me the reproductions and re-releases are kind of different because there's such a big time gap between them. So yeah, I kind of label them different, as you like I just did there, re-release and reproductions. So I'm gonna go over some of the differences, as I have two of the reproductions here, and I'll pull up pictures of the re-releases and compare them to the 2010 versions. So yeah, so first up we have First Wave Lagoona, or just the First Waves in general, have quite different faces, and they did have re-releases of course, but that was just like them just having different re-releases when they were coming out at the time, like 2010 and maybe like 2011 and stuff. So, and typically these are some of the nicer faces. Like personally I think this is like the best face variant of Lagoona. Even with her pre-production and re-releases, this is still my favourite variant, along with maybe draculaura and clawdeen, and definitely Cleo. Definitely the best faces was their like original releases going on, but it all kind of just depends. And then when you have the re-releases that happened in 2015 with the smaller boxes, the budget was a lot less for those ones, and painted details are missing, and just like the faces looking a bit off. They didn't like, I feel like the faces looked much more smooshed together than they did originally when they came out. And then you have the pre-productions, which I think they definitely done these a lot nicer. Like they just have better quality, like all the painted details are there and stuff. Like if you were to compare the 2015 re-release of like Cleo compared to her reproduction, yeah, pretty big difference. And that is kind of why I like to separate the two, even though they are basically just two re-releases that did happen between a span of a couple of years. So yeah, but there are differences between the reproductions too, with their re-release faces and such. So the 2010 ones, they definitely have more fierce faces and definitely have different shapes, but mine are definitely a bit wonky, especially my Frankie. I will try maybe explain wonkiness in a bit, but yeah, here are the reproduction faces. To be honest, they're not awful. I know some people complained about Frankie's eyebrows and stuff, or like draculaura looking much more cartoony and less like fierce than her original release, which I can see, but I definitely think I prefer the reproduction faces compared to the re-release ones by a lot, especially the outfits. I think draculaura's re-release outfit looks horrendous, but they definitely nailed it with the reproductions outfits, especially quality wise, not just faces, which I can move on because that's a really good thing about the reproductions, because my plan is I'm going to try get the reproduction Lagoona and give the accessories to my original one. So yeah, but not only can you tell the difference between re-releases and the original ones just by looking at the face, but also by the elastics, because the re-releases have, like the 2015 and reproductions releases both have like plastic like pegs between them, whereas the originals, I think they all had like elastics of some sort, and elastics varied between the gold ones, the black ones and silver. They do not mean any different. The gold ones basically just mean they were like the first batch ever released, but my Lagoona is black elastic, but I don't really care about elastics because I've seen some really nice like black elastic and silver elastics and stuff have really nice faces, or even some of like the plastic peg like ones have like really nice faces. So yeah, I just like to steer clear from the re-release faces because I just think they are so horrendous. I really hate them. But yeah, I think they definitely done the best they could with the 2022 and 2024 releases, like reproductions of them, compared to the ones in 2015. So yes. So that was like kind of my best recap of like the differences of the pre-productions and re-releases. Basically, pre-productions are better, at least even if you don't like the pre-productions faces as much compared to the older ones. The quality and clothing is a lot better, to the point people do buy the original dolls and then just steal the clothes and buy a pre-production and give it to them. But I feel like with the 2015 ones, they just didn't hit the nail on the coffin on like either of them. That was not even meant to be a pun, the coffin thing, but because the faces on the 2015 ones and the clothing quality are both really bad in my opinion. I think like they just look so much cheaper. Like I cannot stress how much I hate it. Like they look so bad in my eyes. So yeah, but that's kind of my best explanation of those. If anyone does have any questions, I'll try to explain it in the comments, because I'm not gonna deny I probably didn't explain that very well, especially without like really any big examples in front of me. Maybe I'll do a comparison with when I get a reproduction like Lagoona even, to show the face difference. But I will say the reproduction face for Lagoona was done so dirty. She deserves so much better with her fish-like look. I love it. So yeah. But now we can move on to variants. So yes, and these two are kind of being the main focus of the variant side of things, as I feel like they're the most like prevalent to the conversation. So variants typically mean the China and Indonesian factories. So both factories sometimes have small differences. It can be big differences to really small ones. Like I feel like Spectra's an example of maybe smaller differences compared to Abby. As her face, I can't remember the face difference. The face is a bit different, like maybe smaller eyes on the, because this is the China variant, I'm sure. I think this is the China variant, and the China variant also has different earrings. Like the earrings on the China variant are all black here, as you can see, apart from the top, whereas the Indonesian variant has an all silver chain until the little ball part, if that makes sense. I'll try add pictures to try to explain myself best, but yeah. And whereas Abby, she has bigger face differences in her China and Indonesian variant, with the eyes being different. She definitely has a much softer look compared to the Indonesian variant, and the Indonesian and China variant both have the elastics. So this Abby I have is got pegs for her to keep her legs together, and Spectra here has elastics. So yeah, I'm trying to think of any other dolls that have differences, like factory variants. I think I'm trying to think actually. The Day at the Mall pack, like Day at the Mall Draculaura, and Gloom Beach Draculaura. Wait, no, Gloom Beach is actually a re-release, because there's re-releases of those. So I know Day at the Mall, I think that's a factory one, if I'm correct, I think. So yeah. But definitely those two are the most prevalent when I see like face variants mentioned, especially Abby, and I think some Lagoonas have it. So yeah, that's just top of my head. And also some G3 dolls have had variants, like from the different factories. For example, First Wave Draculaura here. This is the Indonesian variant. Does it say on her? I think it might. I'm trying to check. Should I check? But let me look really quick. Yeah, this is the China variant. Typically people prefer the China variant, so you can't even read it, but it does say like quite lightly here. I'm not sure if you can see. You can kind of see some letters. Yeah, China. Yeah, okay, made in China. So this is the China variant, and also the variants here definitely comes back to just personal preference of like what one you prefer. And a lot of these do just come down to personal preference of what one you prefer. Like personally, I would prefer a China variant Abby over the Indonesian one, but in this instance, I think I prefer the China variant. Oh wait, no, I typically do prefer the China variant. What am I on about? But for example, the Indonesian and China variant of Haunted Spectra, the Indonesian one looks a lot better. And you know what? Like I said, I want to mention some wonkiness within dolls, and the first example I've got is Ashlyn here. This is just a bit of a smaller section of the video, because, you know, wonkiness is just not fun. And I feel like it's kind of hard for people to spot sometimes, but let me know. Can you guys look at this doll and see wonkiness? Okay, if you couldn't spot any wonkiness on her, I'm gonna point it out now. It's her eye. Her eyebrow is much bigger, and just this eye in general on this side looks a lot bigger. So yeah, I'm gonna get another doll and show now and see if you can spot it. Can you guys spot it? Can you guys see it? To be fair, I feel like this one's a lot harder to spot on camera. This eye is definitely like bigger and most definitely to the side. If I put my fingers to each side of her head, this eye is a lot closer to the side of her head for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. And the final one I'm going to show for wonkiness is this Abby, as this eye here is definitely bigger than this eye on the left. So yeah, I just kind of want to add a wonkiness section because, I don't know, I just thought it'd be an interesting one to throw in with the variants and re-releases and such. So here we have Abby. She's an example of wonkiness. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully it wasn't too like messy or confusing. If anyone does have any questions, I'm happy to like talk about it. So yes, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day and bye!